Well, it was quite the day in Delaware. That was my first trip. I thought about it when I got there. That was my first trip to Dover, Delaware in 23 years. First time I was there was as a groom. I was a caretaker. Went down to Delaware to help out Mike McDonald, who's since passed away. He was a real close friend, a good friend of mine, and he passed away. And uh, I thought about it today when I got there. The time I took, Mike and I drove from Montreal, Quebec, all the way to Dover, Delaware. He had a number of horses racing that weekend, and I ended up helping out. It was a lot of fun, and that was the first and only time I'd seen Dover, Delaware. Now, if you've ever been to Dover, it's changed a little bit since then. It's huge, and there's a NASCAR track on the outside of the racetrack. It is something to behold. I believe the only track in harness racing like this is Dover, Delaware, and it was impressive. So I watched Path of Totality race today. She's first over into two favorites, slow half. The last half was 57 seconds or something. She was no good. You just can't race that filly like that. And one of our clients, Mark, had said to me after, "Why do we keep racing this filly? Why don't we just take that chip out and give her time off?" She's had a little chip in her knee forever, her right front knee. It hasn't seemed to bother her, and it certainly wasn't the reason she got beat today. But realistically, if we take that chip out, you're looking at a couple of months off and a couple of months of rehab, which would support the timeline we have for her. So I think as of tonight, probably 100%. That's what we're going to do. Take that chip out. Maybe we'll send her down to the big veterinary clinic in Ohio where we had last year, Woodland Run. See if they can take that chip out and rehab her for us. I think it's worth the extra money. She's a very good filly, and I think she's gonna pay dividends for us next year. As you can see, that's me. As you can see, I'm in the airport right now. All right, fine. It's my driving seat.
We're glad to check your
I think this is going to take a couple minutes.
You see your flight destination today. Any bags checked and we transfer it to your next flight.
So, let's just try and work through this.
Please see me here at gate
So,
33 if you would like to check your carry-on bag.
I don't want to check my... Yeah, I do want to check my carry-on bag.
Valuable items and medication keys.
As I said, Path of Totality will send her to Woodland Run to get that chip taken out and give her some time off and rehab her. How long is this lady going to talk for?
Masks with exhaust valves or vents are not permitted for use in American. If you're unwilling to comply with our policy, you will be denied boarding on this flight. If you do not have a face covering, please see me here at gate F33. We also ask you to not have lingers. Maintain space between you and other customers as you wait to board today's flight.
There.
Our onboard service temporarily changed.
She's not done yet. No, she's going to keep going.
Food and beverage service.
So,
any food and beverage you need for the flight.
As I said,
Clear the airport terminal before you board. As a reminder, federal regulations prohibit the consumption of alcoholic beverages by onboard by customers. We'll be on board in about 14 minutes. Once again, if there's any passenger flying on flight 6082 with service to Toronto, if you have not seen me here at the podium at gate F33, to get your documents verified and to receive the health and safety form, please do so now before the boarding process.
So, Path of Totality, we're going to take that chip out, rehab her in Ohio at Woodland Run. Peanut should be racing here in just a second. I'm going to tune in and watch him go. And of course, the show of the day was Jazzy Judy. Jazzy Judy was fantastic today. She wasn't fantastic in the warm-up. I literally went over to the veterinarian after the race and apologized. And I didn't apologize. I thanked him for the latitude. She warmed up terrible, made a break, run all over the track, looked terrible. But it's hard to explain. Horses that it's not that she's lame. It's not that Jazzy Judy's lame. She's had a long year. She had that chip in her knee. She tied up when she was sent back from Delaware last time. She struggled a little bit. And for her to warm up so lackluster and then look so good the mile just goes to show how talented this filly is. I'm not telling you that she's a Breeders' Crown filly, but she is a good filly. For her to endure and come out with her ears up and just come screaming out of the car. I know we were up there 30-4. I was talking to Greg about it. He said, well, 30-4. I could have been up there 28 apiece if I wanted to. This filly was all business today. And if Jim can keep her good, keep her healthy, keep her muscle count down, I think she's definitely one of the best fillies in Delaware. So we'll see how she does next week. As I sat here waiting for my flight, I booked my flight for next week. I will be in Delaware next Tuesday, and I will be in Delaware the week after for the final. And hopefully it's a Cinderella story for our girl, Jazzy Judy. And trust me when I tell you, if anybody deserves it, she does. She has been a warrior all year. This is a filly that cracked her knee, had a fragment, a chip from her third carpal taken from her knee cleaned up, rested, rehabbed, trained down, won her first elimination in Harrington, was at a gear and rough. In the second elimination, made a break, rough in the final. Brought her back to the Meadows, tied up, got sick. Just a nightmare. And hats off to Tim Twaddle. He did a great job getting this filly back in shape. She arrived down here a few days ago, and Tim and his staff have done a great job getting Jazzy Judy prepped and ready to go, and Jim did a great job today. So a great job all around. Jazzy Judy was a winner.
Please raise your hand.
I don't know what she said, but I'm going to raise my hand anyway. I am going to go up and get checked in. Jazzy Judy was great today in victory. Now, I did have a bad day. I'll talk to you guys another time about it. I had a number of clients ask what happened with the White Tiger situation. He ended up in the Open when he could have been in the other class. I'll tell you. You want to know what happened? The race secretary screwed us. That's what happened. He called Tim apparently and told Tim that the class was not going to fill and that he needed his horse, our horse, White Tiger, for a short Open. Which, yeah, if you're going to say, hey, you're not getting raced this week unless you're racing the Open. Okay. Okay. Let's race in the Open then. But when I see you in race 11, an 8-horse field and numbers of 10, and you stuffed our horse in the Open, excuse my French, but that's bullshit. And that was I had a really stiff conversation with Tim about this, and I assume that would be reciprocated to the race secretary tomorrow at the Meadows. I was not happy with what took place, nor should you be. Our clients, my partners, and White Tiger, we get screwed over this week. We'll race the horse in the Open. I told him to scratch him, but you know what? I cooled down a little bit. We'll race the horse in the Open, but that shouldn't have happened, and that's bullshit. Again, sorry. We have some horses racing right now in Pennsylvania. We had to skip a week with some of them. We did have a little virus going around. I thought that our high enzymes were attributed to bad hay at Tim's barn, and then yes, came up with a slightly elevated GGT. So it looks like the vet had told me, our vet here, Dr. McKee, believes that there's a little virus going around that is causing this to jump. We've switched treatments from these horses from straight treating them for their high liver counts to also treating them for ulcers. We're going to try and drop that. I'm talking like I'm a vet. I'm not. At the end of the day, I'm doing what the vet said. How's that? I wasn't happy with the way the muscle count or the enzymes for the livers were coming down on the horses. I spoke to the vet briefly, and then again this afternoon about these counts, especially when I saw Yes's count come back. She had recommended we switched our treatments to another medication, and we'll get those knocked down and get those horses back in. But as I said to you guys the other day, you can't race them when they're not 100%. I've seen them race when their GGTs, their liver counts are up, and it is not good. So that's where we're at right now. We'll get these liver counts back down on these horses, get Yes in next week, get all the other horses back in next week. Right now, as of Monday, we have 3 horses in to go Friday. We have 3 horses in to go. My wife has granted me a hall pass. I can head over to drive at the Meadows on Friday, and then after that, Tuesday again back in Delaware. So I thought we were done, but happily we're not. I'll be going back to Delaware this Tuesday coming, and hopefully the last Tuesday, next Tuesday after that for the final, and then that will be it for the year. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you had a great weekend. I did a ton of videos for you guys this weekend. We do have the drone on Thursday. I hope everything went well. Hope everything is all right. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.